But
Yeah,
we
this is clear.
cannot see the screen, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'll share the screen. Now, is it now we can see the screen, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so let's go ahead actually. So, so somebody can read the translation.
Prabhuji, I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Translation. O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me. The first, the distressed, the desirer of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the absolute. Hare
Yeah, you can
Krishna.
continue. You can continue, Mataji. Perfect.
A purport. Unlike the miscreants, these are adherents of the regulative principles of the scriptures, and they are called Sukritinha, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws, and are more or less devoted to the Supreme Lord. Out of these, there are four classes of men: those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. The Bhakti Rasamrata Sindhu 1.1.11 defines pure devotion thus. Prabhuji, I won't be able to read that.
Yeah, I think I'll read it. You can read. No, all of us can repeat. Anya, Anyabhilashita Shunyam.
Anya Bilashi
Anya Bilashita Sunyam.
Nana Karmadi Anabhutam.
Jnana Karmadi Anarvatam
Karmadya Anukrivam.
Anukulyena Krishnanu.
Anukulyena
Anukulyena
Krishnanu
Krishnanu.
Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama.
Sheelanam
Sheelanam
Bhaktiruttama
Bhakti Uttama.
Anyabhilashita Shunyam.
Anya
Anya
Bilashita
Bilashita
Sunyam
Shunyam.
Nana Karmadi Anabhutam.
Jnana Karmadi Anavratam
Anukulyena Krishnanu.
Anukulyena Krishnayum
Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama.
Sheelanam Bhaktir Uttama
Anyabhilashita Shunyam.
Anya Bilashita Sunyam
Dana Karmadi Anabhutam.
Jnana Karmadi Anavratam
Anukulyena Krishnanu.
Anukulyena Krishnanu
Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama.
Sheelanam Bhaktir Uttama.
Yeah, actually, normally when we read it together like this. Anyabhilashita Shunyam Dana Karmadi Anabhutam. Anukulyena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama, like that. So basically, no, we can continue. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita, 19th chapter, Madhya Leela, 19th chapter, 167th shloka. Okay, so some devotee can continue reading. Yes.
One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably uh, and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. When these four kinds of persons come to Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, if they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress, and at that time associate with pure devotees and become in their distress devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with the pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God. and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord or his pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities, the search for mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service.
Thank you, Mataji. So today's topic, is a very interesting topic. Basically, in Bhagavad Gita, this is coming from Bhagavad Gita. We will let us see the Bhagavad Gita. So there is a previous shloka, which is also related to this. So I think we will have to read that also to get the full picture. The previous shloka is this. Namam duskritino mooda prabadhyante naradama maya bhagirtitnana asurim bhavamashrita. So here it is told, those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among the mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of the demons, do not surrender unto me. So these are the, here Krishna is talking about who will not surrender or who will not take up the devotional service of the Lord. Right. So first category is Namam Dushkritino Muda. One is Muda, the people are foolish, grossly foolish, who are lowest among Prabhadyante Naradama. Naradama means the lowest among the mankind. Then Maya Nana, whose knowledge has been stolen by illusion, and who partake Asurim Bhava Mashita, who partake in the atheistic nature of the demons. So these four kind of people doesn't surrender. So the Maya Nana, actually those people, these are the people who are so-called intelligent or intellectual people. Okay, so actually we have seen that the devotional service is a transcendental activity, because so the matter and spirit are two opposite things, right? We have seen that the matter is actually that which we can perceive with our material senses, and spirit is that actually is beyond the material perception, right? It's known as transcendental. So spirit alone cannot be perceived by the material senses, and anything which is spiritual also cannot be perceived by the material senses, right? So, so spiritual knowledge cannot be understood by material scholarship. Somebody may be materially very highly learned. He may be a great scientist, etc., etc. So, so the Maya Abhurdhatnana, actually the Maya is the material energy of the Lord, is the external energy of the Lord, who actually is controlling the material nature, right? The material nature is controlled by Maya, and she is actually designated. It is a designated, it is a responsibility or duty to keep all the people in the material world under the illusion, right? What is the illusion? The illusion, primary illusion is that we think that we are the body, right? And everything related to the body we actually value. And then generally people who are not having spiritual knowledge, they don't give any importance to the soul, and and thereby they cannot understand which are things which are related to the spiritual aspects, right? So the material, the Maya Devi, she actually keeps the people under illusion, because why it is because the living entities actually wanted to enjoy independent of the Lord. No, it is a desire to enjoy independent of the Lord, right? And that is why they come to the material world. And the material world is designed to facilitate their enjoyment by forgetting Krishna. So because of that, material nature actually keeps the people living entity under the illusion. Okay. So so Maya Abhurdhatnana is the people who are so-called materially intelligent, but actually they don't have any spiritual knowledge. So these kind of people who think themselves as highly learned, who think themselves as great logicians, and these kind of people also will not surrender to the Lord. Okay, so it may apparently become maybe a little difficult to understand, but that is a fact. And then Asurim Bhava Ashita is very natural, right? The people who are atheistic, no, they also doesn't surrender to the Lord. So this is the first. This is the four kind of people who doesn't surrender. And in this particular session, we are seeing the four kind of people who surrender to Krishna. Okay, just a moment. Actually, I'll change my headphone actually because I'm not feeling comfortable with this.
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us continue. So here actually, so I would like, devotees, would you like to, tell some important points in the first two paragraphs? Because I don't want to, I think all of us has to talk because it's a Bhakti Vriksha, right? So it is not a class. Because I always tend to talk all the time. So please, I would like all of you to, bring the points. So what is mentioned in the translation? Anybody want to summarize? It's very simple.
It says, Prabhuji, who all seek God, and
Hmm.
in what situations really, who come to the doorstep of God. And it
Yes.
says that artha means those who are distressed really, who are
Hmm.
in difficulties. And arthartha means those who want something, they are looking for some kind of materialistic gains, something to be done, they want God to help them in some way. So
Yes.
arthat. And that jijnasu means the one who is inquisitive and wants to know the Lord. And then the fourth kind is a jnani who understands, who wants the knowledge. Am I right, Prabhuji? I don't know
Yeah,
whether
yeah. Yes,
okay.
Mataji. So
Yeah.
between the Gnani and Jitnasu,
Jijnasu, yeah.
we may feel little, what is the difference? That kind of question may come
Yeah. Yeah.
because both look similar, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Prabhuji.
So yeah, yes. So anybody wants to try to answer that? Like other anybody, what is the difference between a Gnani and Jitnasu? So Jitnasu means inquisitive. It is given here, and Gnani means the seeker of knowledge. Nobody wants to try. Okay. Uh, okay, fine. See, we'll see the next paragraph. See, fundamentally the difference is the Gnani is actually a formal seeker of knowledge. He actually he generally at Gnani accepts a particular path. In search of knowledge, right? He will try to systematically study some scriptures or no or other source of knowledge, right? He's a formal student kind of person who actually systematically studying, and he's trying he's trying to find absolute truth. Jitnasu is actually just an inquisitive person. No? He may not be a formal seeker of knowledge. He is a person. So we see a lot of people are very inquisitive, right? Many children, we can see that they are very inquisitive. No, they always want to know what is there. So these inquisitive people, they may come just because of their inquisitiveness. No, they may just want to try out what is happening. No, let me try this. What is happening here? Let me explore this. So this kind of people are these are the inquisitive people, right? And Tani is one who is actually formally is taking formally and very seriously studying different scriptures, for example, right, to understand absolute truth. So this is the difference between these two. Okay. uh, yes, so next paragraph, what are the important points? Basically it is explaining it in more detail, right? uh, so here actually what is, let us see quickly. Unless the miscreants, so miscreants is actually what were referred in the previous shloka which we saw, right? No, Chatur, and what is that actually? Namam Dushkridino Muda, Prabhadyandena Adama, right? Maya Bhardatnana, Asurim Bhavamashita. So these are the miscreant people, no? They would never will come to Krishna. And now here it is mentioned, unless is miscreant, these people who are mentioned here, right? They are adherent of the regulatory principles of the scriptures. Okay, because the word Sukriti is used actually, Sukriti. So these four kind of people has done some kind of pious activity, and then they are actually generally have an inclination to follow the regulatory principle of scriptures, right? Only so these four categories of people are coming in that category, and they are called Sukritina, or those who have obeyed the rules of regulations of scriptures, the moral and social laws. and are more or less devoted to Supreme Lord. Okay, they have some kind of sukriti or pious act, pious credit, to themselves. Out of these, there are four classes of men who, those who sometimes distrust. That is what actually, distrust. Artho is distrust. Then Artharthi is actually, somebody who's looking for some benefit, like in the form of monetary benefit, for example, or money. Artharthi is in need of money. And inquisitive, right? And those who are sometimes searching for our knowledge, absolute truth. These persons come to Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. These are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for the devotional service. Pure devotional service, okay, now we'll see pure devotions later. So this part, until now, I know are we clear? Which are the four kinds of people who are coming to Krishna, right? So Artharthi is very easy to understand, right? So many of the people, right, when they become distressed in life, they have some problems in their life, some loss in the life, right? Or something actually, some very bad incidents happen. No, they are actually very much distressed because of that. Then actually, they may try to find some remedy in various ways, right? So at that time, even though sometimes they may not have faith earlier, but they may they may try to take shelter of the Lord, thinking that, no, let me try this, let me try to come to the Lord. But not all the distressed people take shelter of the Lord. So they are able to take shelter of the Lord in distress because they have done some sukriti, some pious activity they have done in the past, because of which, they actually are they are impelled, or somehow or other they are actually, impelled to take shelter of the Lord. Okay, so this is the distress category of people. So we can also analyze ourselves, what category we may fall, right? So sometimes, there are many devotees we see, many time and again, that this category will be the maximum, because of distress they are actually taking up to devotional service, right? They want to try out actually, or they want to just see whether the Lord can help, right? So this is the distress category. So Artho, right? Then Jitnasu we discussed, right? Inquisitive. Artharthi, this is also, another category of people. This category of people are also very, huge, right? We can see that, a lot of people who are rich, right? Typically we see that, like people who have a lot of money, who are doing business. They have, we can see, we go to shops, we see, like they do some puja in the morning, afternoon, etc. Right? So what is their goal? Their goal, it would be written there, no, Shubha Labh. So they want to make money, right? So for that, actually, they think that, okay, Lord God actually can provide me money. He will be able to help me to produce money. This is the intention. So they're exchanging something in return, right? So that is Artharthi. And Nani, naturally, Nanis are generally, people who are intellectual people who actually knows that, who want to know that what is absolute truth, or ultimately what is what is the purpose of everything, right? What is behind everything. They want to know what is the real truth, right? So they seek out for the knowledge. So this kind of people are not much in olden times. Actually, many people, I know, they used to leave their house, and then they go in search out of knowledge. They go to some holy place, or go to Himalayas, and then they meet some spiritual master, in search of knowledge. In today's world, right, that exact nanis are very rare, who are actually taking the path of, scriptures, for example, right? But people are generally, we cannot call the people who are, learning scientific knowledge, who are after trying to learn scientific knowledge or material knowledge, we cannot call them really nanis, right? So from a material perspective, they may be, we may call it nani, but typically the understanding of nani is somebody who's seeking out the spiritual path, right? Who is trying to find, who's trying to go beyond the material realm, right? They understand that there is something beyond the matter. There's something that actually, is beyond what I can perceive by my senses, right? These are the people who are actually, are jnanis in the real sense, in a scriptural perspective or in a Vedic perspective, right? So they actually seek out to get the information. So many of these so-called jnanis, they actually pursue the path of scriptural knowledge, or no, they most of them take the path of meditation. They try to find out by meditation, they try to find out their own self, right? So this is the people, who are actually taking the path of jnana, right? So we have seen that, in Bhagavad Gita there are four different paths, right? Or four different ladders, yoga ladder. No, anybody remembers what are the different steps in the yoga ladder? Different yogas.
Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Dhyana yoga,
Bhakti
and
Yoga.
Bhakti yoga.
Yes. Our Sushil Prabhu, your voice is very less. Okay. So karma, jnana, dhyana, and bhakti, right? Yeah. So this people who are inquisitive, and I mean the people who are seeking knowledge, right? The Jnani is actually they come in the process of Jnana Yoga, correct, no? So generally in the generally most of the Jnanis, today's world also, if you see the most of the people who follow the spiritual path, right? Most of them are attracted to the impersonal form. They're thinking that no, the Lord actually is a light, no, is a no, is energy. No, I want to merge. Ultimately, they think that okay, salvation means moksha or whatever. The ultimate purpose is to merge with the impersonal Brahman, right? We have seen that earlier also, right? So there are basically that is not the complete understanding that we have seen, right? What is the complete understanding? How do what are the different levels of understanding the absolute truth? We have discussed it. Now, anybody remembers? The absolute truth can be perceived in three different levels. Today's I think next paragraph it is there somewhere. Anybody remembers what it was? So here it is now, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, right? Anybody remember that example? So what is the analogy we use to understand the three different Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan understanding? Nivedha Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Not able to. Busy.
Yeah, some disturbance here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I think we have discussed it many times. No, it's a very important topic to understand. So Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, right? So these are the three levels of understanding of the absolute truth. So we have give the example of the sun example is there, no? Anybody remember the sunlight, the sun planet, and the sun god? No, anybody remember the example of that? Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So Krishna, no, basically Parashamuni has said told that Brahmedi, Paramatmedi, Bhagavan edi Sabhyate, right? So these are the three different levels of understanding of the absolute truth. The first level is actually to understand the Brahman. Brahman understanding is like just like though we have the sun god and the sunlight, right? So somebody who's having the basic understanding, he will perceive the sun actually as the sunlight, because that is what actually we can directly see here, right? Sun is understood by the sunlight is a property of the sun, no? And by sunlight actually he understand that there is a sun planet, and sun planet can be like this and that, and he can try to understand a little bit about sun planet by understanding the sunlight, right? So that scientifically also, for example, they study about the sunlight, like by studying the spectrum of the sunlight, we can actually understand some properties about the sun. Now, for example, what is the chemical composition, etc., etc. So similarly, so understand sunlight, thinking that sun is sunlight is the preliminary understanding of the absolute truth. Then going further, if you do more research, and then if you try to study more about the sun planet, right, we understand that there's a planet called sun. What is the actual composition of sun planet? How actually an energy is produced in sun planet, etc. Of understanding. So you have more detailed understanding. You have a little more deeper understanding of the sun. So this is considered as a Paramatma understanding, right? And what is absolute final understanding is that the sun planet actually is just a material manifestation, right? But actually the sun planet is actually controlled by the sun god. No, so sun god. So just like if you have a secretariat building is there, and imagine that there is no people, nobody in the secretariat. The secretariat is closed, right? And then there is no activity happening in the secretariat for like for years. Then the secretariat doesn't have any value, right? It's just a building. It doesn't have any value by itself. So similarly, without sun god, presiding in the sun planet, actually the sun planet is just a material arrangement, right? Actually of some producing some energy, right? So that is what the scientific understanding is only limited to that. So the complete understanding is the understanding is complete only when we understand that there is a sun god who is actually controlling the sun planet. So one more example is that just like a small child, he may think that suppose something is running, right? A train is running. He may think that the train is running independently, like without any help. But actually, somebody who higher intelligence, they know that there is a driver who is driving the train. Right? The driver may be inside the train, or the driver may be outside using a remote control. Also, you can operate a train or you can operate a drone. And in the future, it may be possible to operate a plane also. But nevertheless, there is actually somebody who is controlling the equipment, no, whatever it is. So unless and until there is a controller, without understanding the controller, the understanding is incomplete. So same way, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, right? There are three levels of understanding. So we have discussed it earlier. I know. I think it's a very important topic to understand. So anybody has any questions in this topic, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan? Is it completely clear? Because it's very important understanding, which is required, for further progression of the
Yes,
spiritual.
Prabhuji. Understood, Prabhuji.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So the what scripture says is that when we advance in, so basically the scriptural knowledge also has different gradations, right? So what is commonly known, most of the people, if you ask, there are multiple reasons that people find it difficult to accept the Bhagavan understanding. Okay, one of the reason is that anybody knows why people don't accept Bhagavan, and then why more people are easily convinced about the impersonal truth, impersonal aspect. No, when we say that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, is an energy, Supreme Lord is light, there are so many takers for that idea, right? But when we say that okay, supreme absolute truth is a person, no, many people are thinking okay, that is a low grade idea, or there it is not very what do you call accepted easily. Anyway, anybody knows why it is so?
Because they would like to lord it over, Prabhuji. They don't accept themselves as servitors of God, and they think
Yes,
they are the masters of all things.
very nice, Mataji. Exactly, yes. Basically, why we question, the answer is that why are we coming to the material world, right? That itself is the answer. Why do we come to the material world? As Mataji told, no, it is lord it over. See, basically, we don't want to be servants. See, the idea is that the living entity's constitutional nature is to serve the Supreme Lord, right? We have seen that many times. Jivara Swarup Hoy Krishna and Nityadas. The Supreme Lord has created, the Supreme Lord who was one has expanded into many, right? For his pleasure. So yes, so here the Lord has so many different pleasure potencies. There are so many technical terms for that, but in principle, it is three category, right? Internal energy, external energy, and marginal energy. But nevertheless, it is mentioned in Upanishads that ego bahunam yo viradadi kaman. So though he was he actually, the one person is actually is satisfying the desires of so many living entities. The one person who was originally one, he has expanded into so many varieties. Everything that we see, right, and everything that we cannot see beyond our material perception, all actually is energies of the Lord. The Supreme Lord was the original Supreme Person, is the original, original person, right? Ishvara Paramakrishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So he is the cause of all causes, and there is no cause beyond it. That Supreme Lord, he has expanded into so many different varieties for his enjoyment, right? So the living entities are actually created, actually constitutionally created for his reciprocation, with the living entities, for his love, exchange of love, right? So the living entities had as a relationship like that, actually, as a servant and and the master, right? So it is not necessarily always servant and master, but that is the primary kind of relationship. But we have discussed that there are different rasas, no? Like we have Shanta rasa, Dasya rasa, Sakya rasa, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, which are actually different gradations of the exchange of love between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. But nevertheless, the constitutional position of the living entity is to serve Jivara Swarup Hoy Krishna and Tyatas. And that is the mood actually in the spiritual world. And then no, it is not that the living entity is completely blissful and happy in that particular relationship, no original relationship. But when the living entity sometimes, because they have the free will, when they have the desire to enjoy independent of the Lord, some very rarely this happens, and the living entity comes to the material world, right? So the living entities come to the material world because they don't want to serve the Lord. So the moment we accept the Supreme Lord actually is a person, then the question of surrender will comes, because Krishna actually in scriptures, the Lord is asking, Sarvadharman parityaja mamegam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva pabebhyo, like that in multiple verses he says, madhyajimam namaskuru, like that. No, so because actually unless and until we actually again attain the original mood of serving the Supreme Lord, it is not possible to go back to spiritual world. Right. So by definition, the living entity in the material world, they want to lord it over the nature. That's why they came here. And by that definition itself, no, they won't easily accept, in a form actually of the Lord, to which actually they have to surrender. Right. So if you think that the Lord is light, Lord is energy, then there is no personal reciprocation there, right? Then actually you don't have to do anything. You don't have to follow any rules and regulation. You do whatever you like. No, and then I just meditate and then try to merge with it. So that is, that relatively it is easier. You don't have to give up anything, right? But actually the spiritual process, right, for example, in the bhakti marg, right, gradually the living entity initially they have to practice the Vaidhi bhakti, which is the regulated devotional service. So that gradually by practicing regular devotional service, he can attain spontaneous relation service, spontaneous devotional service. Like no Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. So Vaidhi Bhakti is regulated devotional service. Just like the child, we have discussed example, the child has the innate potency to walk. The potency is there in the child. But actually he has to practice little bit so that no, he starts walking naturally. If there is no potency in the child to walk, then how much ever we try, he cannot walk. There's a potency in him to walk, and then no, by practice actually that potency that becomes natural, and afterwards no, we don't actually really practice, right? We just walk. Similarly, if you drive a car, in the beginning, we are so much conscious about everything, right? Where is the steering, where is the clutch, where is the gear, we do mistakes, right? And then we are always conscious, everything. But after some time, it becomes natural for us. No, we don't even bother at all. No, we can do many things. No, we talk to somebody, we can people even talk on the phone, etc., etc. It becomes natural for us. So similarly, the devotional service, that is actually an innate quality of the living entity, and it is actually spontaneous. But because of our contamination after coming to the material world, it has become we feel that it is artificial now. But by doing a regulated devotional service, gradually, we start getting the original taste, and then it becomes spontaneous again, and it is known as raga bhakti, right? So before all these stages, the living entity, depending on his covering and how much he is covered, the living entity will not have a taste to perform devotional service, because after he goes through all this. So generally what happens, the living entity goes through the various phases. He goes through, first he becomes a karmi, then actually he becomes a gnani. After becoming gnani for many lifetimes, right, then actually he becomes interested in understanding the absolute truth, then actually he becomes a yogi. Then actually he becomes a bhakti. So it takes many lifetimes to come to the devotional platform, right? So this is the general progression, right? That is what actually until now Krishna was in Bhagavad Gita. Until this chapter, Krishna was talking about the different processes, and finally in the end of 6th chapter he has concluded saying that yoginama visa. He's saying that of all, before that he told that no, a yogi is better than a gnani, like that Krishna explicitly says, and finally says that of all the yogis a bhakta is the topmost. So this way we have to understand that the understanding of the supreme absolute truth as a person is the topmost understanding. The Bhagavan realization, that is the topmost realization. The understanding that is Brahman, or is Brahmajodi, that is not wrong actually. It is not wrong. But only thing is that it is not the complete understanding. It's a partial understanding of the absolute truth. Right? So that is the overall understanding here. Any questions till now?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mataji. Okay, devotees, then let us go on. So here actually, so first in the first part of the session, discussion, we saw what are the 4 kinds of people who come to Krishna, right? So here actually, what is see, these people, 4 kind of people who are coming to Krishna, they have some motive, right? They have some motive actually in coming to Krishna, but nevertheless they are far better than the people who don't come to the Lord, right? Even the jnanis, the karmis, the yogis, etc., if they are not actually coming to the Supreme Lord, then they are inferior to people who are actually coming for some purpose. See, whatever reason, if you are coming to, if you are depending on the Lord, or if you are coming to the Lord, they are always much better than actually people who are in other category, right? So somehow or other actually you are approaching the Supreme Lord, they are always glorious, and they are much better because they are already started their journey back. Because it is told, we have discussed that, what is that, basically there is no difference between the Supreme Lord, right, and any of his, for example, his name, form, qualities, attribute, etc. So so whenever somebody connects to Supreme Lord in any way, they are always, we should consider that they already started their journey back home. Because once somebody comes to Krishna, right, then actually the Lord will ensure that somehow or other, they actually attain perfection sooner or later. How much time it takes, it will depend on how much we are sincere, how much we are able to, how much we are able to develop the faith, how much we are able to associate with devotees. Based on various aspects, our how fast we can go back will be determined by that. But nevertheless, it is only a matter of time that actually we actually become purified and become perfect. Okay, so the 4 kind of people are not pure devotees. That is what here it is mentioned. These are not pure devotees. Why? Because what is pure devotional service is defined in the next shloka. What is saying is that Anya Vilashida Shunyam Nana Karmadhyana Avrutam Anukulena Krishnanushilanam Bhaktivrutama. So this is the definition of pure devotional service. What it means? Anya Vilashida. So there is no other desire, right? Shunyam, no other desire. Then and it is explicitly stated like Nana Karmadhyana Avrutam. So basically there is something called pure devotional service, and then there is something called Mishra Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti and Mishra Bhakti. So Mishra Bhakti is actually devotional service with a mixture of Gnana or a mixture of karma, right? So that is not pure devotional service, because actually they have some additional desire also. They are doing devotional service, but for example, they want to attain more knowledge, right? That is their intention. They want to become a gnani, they want to become famous, they want everybody, they want to be accepted. So because of that desire, they want to know more and more, but then they still they are doing devotional service. So this is Gnana Mishra Bhakti. Then there is Karma Mishra Bhakti, is actually they do karma kanda activities. Like for example, they do pious activities, right? They do devotional service, they try to do some devotional service, but at the same time their intention is to get some benefit out of it, some fruitive result. For example, they want to go to higher planetary system, they want to become successful, they want to become rich, whatever it is. So this is a Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti, right? So these are, so a bhakti which is tainted with any of the other things is not pure devotional service. So that is why Anya Bilashita Shunam, Nana Karmadi Anavritam. No, it is free from all these things, Nana and Karma. Then also another thing is that Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. So the devotional service should be performed in a favorable mood. Anukulena, Bhakti Rutama. So this is the topmost. So the pure devotee actually doesn't have any desire except to serve the Lord or to please the Lord. So that is the topmost devotion service. Right? One should render transcendental loving service to Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. So in philosophical speculation, what happens is that the people who are jnanis, right, they get a taste or enjoyment out of philosophical discussion. Now we might see, some people we see, right, they are very much inclined to argue. No, they get some kind of pleasure out of it by discussion. So their intention is to get derive pleasure for themselves. Right? It is not to really always to please the Lord. So they, because of their intellectual nature, they want to learn more and more. They want to debate things, and then they want to become successful in the debate. Like I know all this, I know more, and then try to defeat other people. So that their intention there is to derive some pleasure out of it. Right? So that is why it is not pure devotion service. No, so pure devotion service will not have any other mixture. Right? So that is that is the definition of pure devotion service. Only desire, there is only one desire. What is the desire in pure devotion service?
To serve Lord, to serve the Lord.
Yes, to please the Lord, right? Their desire is to please the Lord. They want the Lord to be happy because that is their original nature, to satisfy the Lord. And when Krishna is pleased, everybody is automatically pleased. Yasmin tushtam, yasmin tushta jagat tushtam, right? So when it is just like the watering the root of the tree. So Krishna is the root of all the things, right? Everything in the creation is Krishna is the root. And when the Lord becomes satisfied, our satisfaction is automatically taken care. Though we don't, it is not, though our intention should not be our satisfaction, but nevertheless you get much more than that. Actually, our satisfaction is also ensured, and we will get much more than that. But though we don't have that desire, right? It is told that somebody, a pure devotee, for a pure devotee, liberation is very nothing. It is told that liberation actually is waiting like a maid servant, like in the gate of a pure devotee and asking, how can I serve you? There is a shloka, which I don't remember now, by Kulashekar Alvar. There's a shloka. It is but it says something like Bhakti Muglanjit or something is there. The shloka is there. So basically it says that Mukti Muglanjila, something like that. Basically it's saying that the Mukti is actually waiting with folded hands and requesting how can I serve you with a pure devotee. But a pure devotee is not interested in just becoming liberated. No, a pure devotee is happy as long as he can serve the Lord, irrespective of where he is. Whether I am in the material world, whether I am in the spiritual Swargaloka, or whether I am in the hellish planet, it doesn't matter. As long as I am able to serve the Lord, the devotee is happy. He is not by explicitly interested in liberation. But naturally, when a pure devotee is serving the Lord, it is told that he is liberated in this material world itself. A pure devotee, even if he is in the material world, is already liberated. He's already about the material platform. He's already in the spiritual platform. So he doesn't have to, he doesn't have to go anywhere actually. Wherever he is there, a pure devotee is there. Such a pure devotee is known as Mahabhagavata, right? Or is known as a Tirtha. So because this devotee, wherever he goes, he purifies that place. If you go to a holy place, the holy place is purified, right? So many times, we say that, we will say that, okay, we have to go to some holy place like Prayag, and take a dip in the holy river, right? Ganga, right? So what the Acharya says is that when all the sinful people, because all these places, so many sinful people come and take bath, and according to scriptures, when somebody takes bath in a holy river like Ganga, actually they become cleansed of the sins, right? So it is told that such places will accumulate so much of sin, right? And then it becomes completely what you call polluted by sinful reactions of so many people who are coming and taking bath. And when a pure devotee goes and take bath, again actually it removes all the contamination and again it becomes purified. So the pure devotees are so powerful and potent, they can even purify a tirtha, like that it is mentioned, right? So the pure devotees, they are already liberated. Okay, so that is why they don't really aspire for liberation. Automatically liberation is a byproduct of pure devotion service. So that way we have to understand the super excellence of devotion service, right? Mm, any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, that I wanted to trying to understand that these are the four pious people, not anyone. These are the four pious people will come to Krishna.
Yes.
And next sloka says that these are the four people who are the devotees. And next sloka says that Krishna says that who has the full knowledge and who is devotee to me of this fourth thing. One who has full knowledge and devotee, then is the most dear and to me and to them. And 7.19 says that as, uh, so
So
it
this is
continues
this.
that yeah.
So this sloka is saying, Prabhu, 17 is saying that of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotion service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. So here any question is there in this sloka, Prabhu? Haribol? Uh, am I audible, Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay,
Yes,
Chetan Prabhu, we are not able to hear you. So you are
yeah.
saying that this,
Yes.
what is the question, Prabhu? So this sloka, next sloka, it is mentioning that, saying that of all these four kind of people, one who is pure devotee. So we discussed that these kind of four people are not pure devotees. No, so what it Prabhupada is explaining that this even in the beginning they are not pure, but when they associate with pure devotees and when they execute devotional service, they also become pure devotees. No, and Krishna is saying that so such a pure devotee is the best. He is saying, for I am very dear to him and he is very dear to me. So this is clear, na Prabhu? In this, I think this is clear, right?
No, Prabhuji. Here I have doubt means in these four people, who is
Hmm.
the who will be getting full knowledge and who will be getting the pure devotional, who will be doing the pure devotional service like.
All of them, Prabhu. See, in the beginning, now these are just different. Like there is a hall, big hall. There are four doors, right? So you can come to the hall by any of the four doors. No, once you enter, you are, all of them are, no, you have reached the particular destination. So these are the four ways by which people come to the devotion service. But once they come by the association of devotees or by various, no, devotional process itself is capable of purifying the living entity, right? So when they execute the devotional service under a bona fide spiritual master or in the association of pure devotees, when they follow the regulatory principle, then all of them becomes pure devotees. It is not that no only the Jnani will become pure, or no, it is not that. Everybody ultimately become pure devotees, Prabhu.
Okay, okay.
It is not
And
saying that.
yes, bro. And next to sloka, it says that of these devotees are undoubtedly magnificent soul, but who has situated a knowledge of me and considered just like my own self, being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attend me. Means and the highest and the most perfect.
Yes,
So okay, Prabhu. So it means it is all that uh,
it
means
is all. It is for all the people. It is not that it is. It doesn't see. It is not distinguishing. It is not, doesn't say that okay, no, this devotee only become pure devotee. Nothing like that. So irrespective of the path by which you become a devotee, that doesn't matter actually. It all depends on how sincerely you execute devotion service and how much faith you develop. So that all depends on the living entity's endeavor. As we discussed, no, the living entity has a free will, right? So how much the living entity develop faith in the Supreme Lord, how much the living entity develop faith in the pure devotees of the Lord. No, based on that, the devotee becomes make progress. So it is not. It is sometimes it may be that no, it nani may find it more difficult to make progress than a actually a artharthi. No, there's nothing like that. No, only these people, nothing like that. So sometimes it is, sometimes simple people are can make more progress, because if you have already too much knowledge, sometimes that knowledge becomes an obstacle in making progress, because we are confused with so many knowledge, and now you always want proof for everything. So then it becomes very difficult. 1 second, Prabhu. I have to just attend one thing. Just a moment. Hare Krishna, sorry. Yes, Prabhu. So, so that doesn't matter, no? So, irrespective of the path which we come from, right? All of us have a good chance of making progress in devotion service. But ultimately, it depends on how much we are dedicated, how much we have sincerity in the heart, how much we have faith. So, all these factors actually help us to make progress in devotion life, Prabhu. So, sometimes, no, what is very important is that very important devotional service. We know that no ABCD are right, association, books, chanting, and diet. So, these are the four principles. So any of these four things, if you are able to sincerely do, then actually we can make progress, Prabhu. Association. So actually in this very, see, the problem is that the devotees who are coming from the Jnana path, right? So they will have, they sometimes have very difficulty, in making progress because they want everything to understand in an intellectual manner, right? They want a proof for everything, and then they try to analyze everything logically. So basically, we have to understand that this logic is something, which actually is a perception in the material world. Okay, because everything we try to understand everything by our senses. In the case of logic, what is logic actually? Logic means generally logic is something, is something like a formula, right? Or a, we know that okay, if I do this, this is the result. No, if this is like this, then if a, like we have formulas and theorems, etc., right? So that is logic. If it is, if a is equal to b and then b is equal to c, then a is equal to c, so like associativity, there are different things. But the logic means, these are all actually definitions in the material world. These are all because everything we try to understand based on our previous understanding, right? But Krishna, we are discussing, matter and spirit are orthogonal, right? So the Supreme Lord, the spirit cannot be perceived by the material senses. The Krishna's one of the names of Krishna is Atarka Tarkakrit. Atarka Tarkakrit. So he who cannot be understood by logic. That is the definition, one of the definition of Supreme Lord. So so if you try to understand the Lord by logic, then actually it will be very, very difficult to understand Krishna. So but Lord can be easily understood by a person whose heart is very simple. He is very simple-hearted person. He can easily understand. For such a person, the Lord actually directly reciprocate with him. Right? We have seen so many examples, in the past, right? So if somebody is a pure devotee whose heart is very pure, he is a very simple person. For him, actually, the Lord is very easily revealed. But a person who is very, very sophisticated, who is actually, who is not, whose heart is very hard, for such a person, it's very difficult to understand the Supreme Lord. So these are some of the qualities which may help. But even if you have a very hard heart, also by the mercy of other Vaishnavas, so actually there are so many scriptures so many as evidence in the scriptures where the Supreme Lord Himself is saying that Krishna says that my devotee is my devotee is not actually my devotee. My direct devotee is not my devotee, but a devotee of my devotee is my real devotee. Like that Krishna is saying actually to Uddhava, right? And then Lord Shiva is saying that, what is that actually? What is that shloka? 1 second. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam param, right? So Lord Shiva says that actually. 1 second, we'll see the shloka. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam param. Yeah, so Lord Shiva says to Parvati, Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam param. Tasmat paradaram devi tadiyanam samacharam. What it says? Lord Shiva has told goddess Durga, my dear Devi, although the Vedas recommend worship of demigod, the worship of Lord Vishnu is topmost. However, above the worship of Lord Vishnu is rendering of service to Vaishnavas who are related to Vishnu. So actually, as long as we are not able to agree with this kind of definition, that means that we have a long way to go. Because in the beginning of devotional service, right, especially people who are coming from the path of jnana, right, they will have very much difficulty in accepting this. So a pure devotee, no, one of the definition of pure devotee is that he basically, in devotional service we have different gradations of the devotees. They are known as Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, and Uttamadhikari, right? So a Kanishtadhikari is a neophyte devotee who actually thinks that no, the Lord is only in the temple, right? And then no, I only have connection with the Lord, and he completely disrespects and disregards other devotees. You will ignore. He'll think that okay, why should I respect other devotees? He think that no, only Krishna or whoever is the Lord is only in the temple. He'll go to the temple and do devotional service. He doesn't have much understanding, scriptural understanding of who is Lord, etc. He's just a pious person, goes to the temple and worship. So this is the definition of a Kanishtadhikari. And Madhyamadhikari, the main definition, the distinction of the Madhyamadhikari is that he will start respecting the devotees. See, if you try to worship Krishna, right, by disregarding or disrespecting other Vaishnavas, other devotees, then the Lord actually will never show the mercy to such a person. Okay, the Lord will only show mercy when actually we are able to respect other Vaishnavas, other devotees of the Lord. So even Lord Shiva is considered as the topmost devotee of the Lord. Vaishnavanam Adashambhu. So Lord Shiva is the topmost devotee of all Vaishnavas. Lord Shiva is the topmost, and Lord Shiva is saying this particular statement to Parvati, saying that no, instead of worshipping, compared to worshiping of demigod, worshipping of Vishnu is the topmost of all worship. Lord Vishnu's worship is topmost. But even better than Lord Vishnu's worship is the worship of Vaishnavas or devotees of the Lord. So when we feel that no, I cannot accept this, why should I worship Vaishnavas? If that is our mentality, then we have to understand that we are in the Kanishtadhikari stage. No, when we go to Madhyamadhikari stage, then actually we will start respecting other Vaishnavas. So that is the one important point we have to understand actually, right? So without worshipping the devotees of the Lord or not worshipping, no, actually we have to respect them at least, right? We have to understand that no, they are pure devotees of the Lord. So Krishna is very much pleased when actually we respect other Vaishnavas. So these kind of things, no, we find it very difficult to accept in the beginning, right? So that is why we have to understand what are the different gradations, in the devotional life. Any questions here? I'm not sure whether we have. Chetan Prabhu, have you answered your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. One more thing, Prabhuji, like if one comes on, means one comes for the wealth, so he after getting the wealth, so he means he doesn't continue for the devotional service, or he'll like go back the means the wealth is got, he'll go back like that. Means
That is yes, that is possible, bro. Some devotees, some persons may actually, they may forget the Lord actually. Till I achieve something, no, I'll remember the Lord. Like there are some sayings in different languages, no, they say like that, no. For example, when there's an exam, no, we'll pray to the Lord, no, and when the exam is over, we'll forget. There's a shloka by Kabir, no, Sugume Sumaran Sab Karai, Dukme Karai na koi. Right? Sugume Sumaran Karai, to Dukh Kahe hoy. So basically, generally there's a tendency that when we are happy, we'll try to remember. Right? Sorry, what is shloka? Yeah, so when we are when we are distressed, no, we'll remember the Lord, and whenever and the problems are solved, no, then we'll not no more remember the Lord, right? So that tendency is possible, but actually what is told is that anybody who actually surrenders to the Lord, right, even once, or even goes to the Lord once, the Lord will never forget that person. So apparently, temporarily that person may be going away from the Lord, but sooner or later, right, whatever devotional service he has performed, that will be never lost. So that is why we told, right, even actually we make one progress in devotional life in this lifetime, 1% progress, that 1% will always remain. It is told, we have discussed, in the what you call the Ajamila's pastime, the Yamadutas, there's a conversation between Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas. So even if somebody takes the name of the Lord even once, somebody says Krishna once in their lifetime, actually that person Krishna will never forget actually. So that, even by chanting the holy name of the Lord even once without offense, only by chanting one, you can attain liberation. That is what scriptures unequivocally, it repeats in many places like that. So you can imagine that, apparently a person we may think that okay, he has, he just for making money, he want money, he came to the Lord, and after getting money, he forget the Lord. No, but if it is not in this lifetime, no, in the next lifetime or in somewhere in the future, definitely he will become a devotee. So apparently everything, we cannot see in our eyes. In front of us, we may think that okay, he came for some time, and then he left it. That we will think like that. but actually the Lord will never forget that person, even if he had come for a selfish interest. So it is told that when the Lord shows some special mercy to a devotee, right, he will take away everything. That is why he is not a hurry. So if he sees that a person is too much attached to wealth, and the wealth is an obstacle for him to make progress in the devotional life, then the Lord will take away all the wealth, so that no, he actually becomes dependent on the Lord. So the Lord knows how to take it, Prabhu. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. So here I think this is what actually discussed now. So what is the difference between a devotee with some mixed devotional service and pure devotional service? Um, then what is actually localized? So we have discussed about Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan because of knowledge, and those who in need of money are free from material desires. And when they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such a purified stage is not attained, devotees on transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fruitive activities. So I think that is what is discussed here. So I think we have completed the discussion topic. Any questions of the devotees? Everything is clear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And let us see. We'll check out. Let's check the knowledge. What all we learned. Who is a Sukritina? Who is called as Sukritina?
Yeah, like the one who follows the rules and regulations of as per the scriptures.
Yes. Explain like that here, no?
Yeah,
And they are called Skuridina, or those who obey the rules and regulations of scriptures and the moral and social laws and are more or less devoted to Supreme Lord. Yes. So, yeah. Technical definition of Sukritina is someone who has done Sukriti. Kriti means some activity and Su means good. Right? Someone who has done good activity. Right? He is Sukritina. Means generally it means pious activity. Right? Somebody has done Sukriti. Some Sukriti has done. So that is why somehow or other, no, he actually is coming to the Lord. Right? Not that no, all these people, not that every person who is distressed or every person who is seeker of knowledge or no, every person who is inquisitive. It's not that all these people know, or not everybody comes to Krishna. Right? In that, in such people, only some of them comes to the Lord. That is because of their Sukriti. Right? What some pious activity they have performed. What are the symptoms of pure devotional service?
Prabhuji, devotional service free from desire of any material profit.
Yes. So yeah,
We,
correct. That actually the answer is this shloka, na? Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadhyana Avradam, Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktirama. So that is what actually the definition of pure devotion service, right? There is no other motive, no other mixture, right? No other motive. Yeah, that is what symptom of pure devotion service. What are the different conditions under which different people start rendering devotion service unto Supreme Lord?
the four Prabhuji.
Sunil USA FaceTime video.
Yes.
the four kinds of people like one who is always those who are always busy with fruity activities. That's one. No?
Yes.
Like they come to the Lord for if due to material distress and all,
Hmm.
they will come to seek the Lord help. And the other is who is inquisitive to know about God.
Yes. Artho
And
Arthati Jitnasu and Nani, right? These are the four kind of people who are coming. What are the tendencies of the miscreants?
tendency means they are very selfish in nature and without any spiritual goals.
Yes. Yeah. Somewhere it is mentioned. I'm just trying to find out. Like the miscreants, there are different. Yeah. So basically, they don't follow the regulative principles and scriptures, right? And then, yeah. What is that? What are the
And they also do
tendencies?
for a particular purpose, no, Prabhuji? They're
Yes.
they're doing the devotional service for some particular purpose, for their own benefit.
Yeah, but they are not called miscreants, Mataji. So miscreants are the actually the people who are discussed in the previous shloka.
Acha, acha, the foolish, the lowest
Yes.
among men,
Yeah, yeah.
stolen by illusion.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Namami Dushkrino Muda, Prabhadyante Narava,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Maya
Yeah,
Bhagavat
yes,
Nana,
Prabhuji.
Asurim Bhamashraya. So these are the miscreants. But as we discussed, no, so some whatever be the reason, if somebody is coming to the Lord, they are considered as pious people. They will not be considered as miscreant, even though there is a selfish interest, whatever it is, they have come to the Lord, right? So they are actually considered always. They should be considered always better than the people who are not coming to the Lord. No, apparently, somebody may be a great philanthropist, somebody may be, Bill social worker, he may be, whatever it is, he is doing sacrifice for whatever country, whatever. Compared to all those people, a person who is actually a devotee is much better. No, due to some reason, whatever the reason doesn't matter. If he's come to the Supreme Lord, he is much better than everybody else. That is what actually scripture says. Somewhere, yeah, that is much better, far, far better. Then actually, it is told that a person who is just rings the bell in a Vishnu temple, no, he is much better than all other people. All the so-called person who actually who is doing pious activities, not pious activity, like so-called charity activity. All compared to all of them, if somebody is just coming to Vishnu temple and just bringing the bell of Vishnu, he is far, far superior according to the scriptural understanding. That is how they define. Because ultimately, all other things which are in the material platform are all waste. Actually, there is no much value, beyond one lifetime, right? But actually, the any activity which is directed at the soul, that is always superior. So a person who is somehow connected to Supreme Lord, he actually is doing a superior activity compared to any other material activities. This may be kind of difficult for people who are neophytes, like for example, or if you talk to other people, they will not accept this kind of thing, because they will not understand full value of devotional service or the spiritual activities. They apparently they think all the people if you talk general people, right, they will all think that doing what is the point of chanting, why are you just wasting your time sitting and chanting, or what is the point in going to temple? Instead of that, you go and distribute some books to some poor people, or distribute some food to the poor people, or give education. They think that those are important. Because why they think like that? Because they don't know who is the real self, right? If you understand the real self, then only we can direct our activity to the real self. The real self is not this temporary identity, right? The real self is the soul. Okay. How does Krishna consciousness transform the Sukridina? Please give example to illustrate this. So the question is something like our Chetan Prabhu asked, na? So basically, these people come, different kind of people come to the Lord, right? How do they get transformed?
When
How do
they come in the association with your devotional devotees, they
yes,
get slowly get transformed by
yes.
the mercy of the Lord. Yeah,
Any example?
we all are the examples.
But we
Coming
don't know.
under the association, you and Mataji, little.
Okay, so if you are able to identify, like, then it is good. Yes, somehow or other we came, no, but actually then we understood what is the value, right? And then we remain in devotional service. That actually what happens, right? When we understand the value of devotional service, then actually we remain. Initially, we might have just come, like for example, what is that actually? Arthu Artha, Jitnasu, right? Jitnasu might have just come. Somebody is walking around, no? Like there's a temple and he is walking and he thought, okay, let me just go and see what is happening. No, he might have just come like that, just to inquire or just to inquire, no, because of curiosity. But actually, once they come, due to some reason, Krishna will attract them. Maybe the prasadam is very tasty, or somebody may like the kirtan, or no, somebody like due to some reason, somebody is very philosophical class is there. He liked it intellectual discussion, or something. Somebody spoke to that person very nicely. So somehow or other, the Lord attracts that person, right? Some reason you came, but actually, no, you actually you become attracted to the Lord, and then you remain in devotional service, right? Krishna, the word Krishna means the one who attracts everyone, everything, right? Akarshanedi Krishna. That there are multiple definitions. One of the definitions is like that. So he who attracts everyone is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Why should devotion be untainted?
Then only it is called pure devotion, no, Prabhuji? If it is tainted, it is not called pure devotion.
Yes, Mataji.
It should be unalloyed loving devotion with no
Yes,
desires, nothing. Absolutely
correct.
clear, pure.
Yes. Why? If I ask more, why? Furthermore, more details, like, can anybody tell? That is what you told is right. Pure devotion service is always superior to impure devotion service, or not tainted devotion service. That is definitely a right point. But why it is important actually to be, to be without desire, or to be pure?
Then only will be Krishna consciousness, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
We'll go closer to the supreme personality of Godhead.
correct. Anybody more wants to add?
No, again, like again with desires, again we will fall down to the same Mrityu Loka, and
Yes,
we have to go through the life cycle again, birth, death,
yes,
this one. Yeah. Again,
yes,
we have to accumulate sins and have to come to their come for those things like good or bad things and all. Without any desire, if you serve God, then it will be easy to get rid of this life and death life cycle.
yes, Mataji, very nice. Yes, because attachment, no, as long as we have material attachments, we will have to again take bodies. No, we have to take in birth, keep on taking birth in the material world. Unless and until we are actually, we are becoming free from material desires, we cannot actually enter into the spiritual world, right? So that is why we came here. And then unless until we are completely purified, unless until we are devoid of material, even if you have very small very small desire actually. Somebody gives example, even if you have a desire to eat gulab jamun, then still you may have to take birth again. So even a small desire actually can bind us in the material world, right? So it is very subtle. The material laws of material nature are very subtle. We have seen the example of Bharat Maharaj, right? Bharat Maharaj is such an elevated devotee. He was in the state of bhava. No, he was almost, he was almost liberated actually. He almost become a pure devotee. But just because he got attached to the deer, right, he completely fall down. So this is a very good, profound example in the scripture which is given, right? So bhava actually is a very, very advanced state. No, we have ado, shraddha, tada, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivrti, nishta, ruji, asakti, bhava, and prema. So bhava is the last, penultimate level actually. So he was almost perfect. He has left. He was the ruler of the entire Bharatvarsha, no, entire continent, no, entire, no, world he was ruling actually. He had so much of opulence, wealth, so much of money, wealth, no, family, everything. He left everything in a young age, and then no, he went to forest, went to Gandaki, and set up a very small cottage, very humble living, no, without any. He was just eating the fruits and roots, completely renounced everything. But just because he became compassionate to a deer, right, who was not having a mother, and he started, no, become attached to the deer, he had to take birth again. Two more births he has to take. The next birth he became a deer, and the subsequent birth he became Jada Bharat, and then he went back to the spiritual abode. So we have to understand that, no, small attachment also can be very dangerous. But nevertheless, it is not possible for us to give up all the attachment, on day one. So that is why we have a systematic process of devotional service, right? The acharyas have given us the process. Srila Prabhupada has given us the process. So there are some rules and regulations which you are following, which actually is not difficult. So that doesn't say that no, we have to give up everything, we have to give up family. No, it is not told. Whatever is possible, we can give up in the beginning, right? Just do chanting the holy names. No, then follow the four regulatory principles. That is what is fundamentally required. And as we follow these things, regulatory principles for some period of time, then naturally, our inclination to actually enjoy, to have attached to different things, attachment gradually, it reduces automatically without our not noticing, without our separately endeavoring. Just follow the process, keep following the process, having faith in the Vaishnavas, in the Acharyas. The process is perfect, because it is authorized by the Supreme Lord Himself. So you follow by the mercy of other Vaishnavas and Acharyas, right? By following the devotional service, the regular devotional service, gradually, we become purified, and then slowly, we actually, become detached from different things. So, and it is also not always necessary that no, we have to give up everything. No, actually, there are examples of devotees, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? Even in times of even in time of Krishna, when Krishna came, also, there were two devotees actually. Now I don't remember the name. They were actually, the Lord's devotee. One was very poor, and one was actually very rich, right? So, but the Lord actually, considered both of them equally, equally elevated. So ultimately, it depends. It matters what is our consciousness. You may be in the midst of so much of opulences, but actually our consciousness is always on the Lord. And then we are not attached to any of these opulences. Then actually we are as good as living in the forest. But that is not generally easy to do because we are always tempted by our surroundings and environment, right? But actually it is possible. Okay. Any questions till now?
So is it not possible like that miscreants, whatever we mentioned in the slokas, they
Mm.
can't convert to the gods, towards the gods, Prabhuji?
Yes. In the translation, Prabhupada is mentioned that actually. Okay,
Okay.
he's saying that they also can become devotees if they come in connection with the pure devotees.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's very difficult actually. We have many examples, right? For example, the story of Mrigari is there, no? Who was a hunter, right? Who used to
Yeah.
kill animals in half. So like that. So those kind of these people will only by the mercy of Vaishnava they can actually
Yes.
become purified. Otherwise, it's very difficult for them. Yeah, it is somewhere it is mentioned, but no, but generally it is very difficult for them. But if a pure devotee shows mercy to them, they can also become pure devotees.
Okay.
Yes. But if when we are preaching now, when we understand that no, the person who is preaching is one of the categories who are duskritina, then it is very tough to preach to them. For us, it will be very difficult to convince them or no make them devotees. It will be very very difficult because they will not listen or they will not accept our proposals because it is very difficult for them. So only pure devotees can show the mercy, even though they are completely unqualified. Pure devotees can deliver them. So that is why Jagai Madai stories there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? They were the most sinful people. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu showed their mercy and delivered them. So, but generally it is very difficult actually for them to naturally become devotees. It's like very, very difficult for them.
Okay.
Okay, now application. Do you feel practicing this Krishna consciousness process has helped you? How? I think question is important actually, the application part. I would like to hear from the devotees. Chitra Mataji, you want to say something? You started practicing devotional service?
Prabhuji, I just started 3 months back, so I'm slowly, slowly taking small steps. But it is having a calming effect on me, and more satisfied, more happy. So some changes are there, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mataji. Thanks. What about other Chetan Prabhu? Would you want to say something?
Yes, uh, what was the actual question, Prabhuji? Like,
Do you feel practicing the Krishna conscious process has helped you? How?
yes, Prabhuji. Like, um, I got to know who is the real God.
Hmm.
That is the best thing, Prabhuji. And
Okay.
I just came for the knowledge,
Hmm.
and I got the what is that, Prabhuji? Like, uh, means the absolute truth also means absolute truth. So, uh, and
Okay,
it,
Prabhu.
it is like yes, Prabhuji. Like
Yeah, Prabhu. We want to.
this
Yeah.
yeah.
Go on. Go on.
Yeah, Prabhuji. This helped the lot Prabhuji. Like
Okay.
Lot of knowledge, Prabhuji, that we never knew, existed also.
Hmm.
Every day we are gaining so much of knowledge, surprising so much, and still so much to know also.
Yes, Mataji. I don't know, Mataji. Would you like to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji. One thing is that you naturally feel more closer to God. Otherwise, as you said, it was more impersonal form of. Although you know there is God, but you kind of go feel more attracted towards impersonal nature of God, or the trying to
Hmm.
understand God as energy,
Hmm.
or so when you declutch from that thought and you realize that there is a higher form which is got a personality, and you start chanting, when I started chanting, I felt there is a definite change, and you feel more closer naturally, to the uh, higher form. And there is more, I feel, as I said, calm, feeling more satisfied, happier feeling, as well as feeling more confident, and you naturally will, without your kind of conscious knowledge, unconscious thing itself, you will start having lesser desires, I feel, and more desire, to serve the Lord, and lesser desires to enjoy with time. I mean, you get to know it. I'm not saying that it will completely go away in a very short span, but
Yeah.
you can feel attached more towards this than the others. It's okay if something doesn't. It's all right. You still feel same amount of satisfaction in yourself, whether things are happening or not happening. So you begin to the sense of satisfaction is somewhere else. It is not based on the material activities or day-to-day activities, should I say, the general uh,
Yes.
activities. That's what I felt, Prabhuji, in the show. I think it'll be in December 1 year. But,
Yeah.
so this is what I have seen in my, in my journey.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So yes, so everybody, na, basically this topic we are discussing because I know we can understand from other devotees, right? So basically, always it is when we see that no, we are able to make progress. Because see, sometimes when we are starting new, we may not be sure, no, what will happen, whether this process is true, whether it will work. But when we hear from other devotees, now who are practicing, who are making progress, then we'll have more faith because we can see that other they are able to change. See, ultimately, what is the question? No? What like is has it helped us, and how is asked the question, right? So basically, the real proof or the real change is actually a change in our consciousness. There should be some transformation. We would have seen now like there are different people who are taking up different processes, right? Spiritual processes, but many times we see there is no real change or there is no change of heart. There's no transformation happening. But here, when we are practicing devotional service, we can very much clear see that there is actually a transformation which is happening. So for some people, it may take very long time. For some people, it may take less time. So that again, it depends on multiple factors. So one thing could be most important factor is that how much actually we are putting, how much sincere we are, how much actually we are putting the effort, and how much sincere, how much faith we are having. So these things will actually fuel or make things very fast. And another thing is that our past baggage is also, to some extent, plays some role. Whatever karma we have done in many lifetimes, right? So sometimes these karmic reactions may make it very difficult for us to make progress in devotion service. So in such cases, we have to surrender more to the Lord. The more, but actually, the Lord can completely remove all our obstacles. No, it is told that the devotional service is so potent. We have given the example many times, right? The devotional service is just like a forest fire. It is so powerful that it can burn everything in the forest, including the animals which are underground, even the snakes which are below, even though also reptiles also will actually get burnt. They're also scorched and they are all burnt. So everything is destroyed. So all the anarthas are completely destroyed. Everything can be. So that way, devotional service is so potent and powerful. So just by practicing, the devotional service, just by following the principles of devotional service, the success is guaranteed. But how much success and how fast, that will actually depends on multiple factors as we discussed. No, but that is what, because scriptures repeatedly tell this. It is just like fire. When we are in contact with fire, the fire actually will definitely have the purifying effect. Similarly, when we practice devotional service, it is so powerful and potent that it completely transforms us. But we should be willing to subject ourselves to that. If you hold ourselves back, then actually it may take more time. Just like how close is the fire, right? If you put a fire and then if you keep a pot very high, then it will take very long time to burn, I mean to cook, right? But when the fire is actually placed very near, then actually it will be fast. So we should be ready to subject ourselves to the devotional service, which means that we should be having a willingness to try out things. We should be willing to take some austerities, right? These kind of things also will help us to make faster progress in devotional service. But nevertheless, no, devotional service is so potent that it will have an effect sooner or later. So because actually it's completely authorized, right? We are following the Supreme Lord instructions. Here, no, we are following the scriptures, and we see so many examples. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see it's full of examples of devotees, of different kind of devotees, who attain perfection, right? So all these examples are there. and so that is, it's already proven. And another example is we can see the devotees which who are around us, right? So like that. So this is very powerful. I missed anybody? Sushil Prabhu would like to say something.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, so definitely there is a change. Uh, uh, yeah, earlier before means before joining ISKCON last 1 year in our Kodlu Gate that center, I was chanting, but that time I was chanting at before going to sleep actually, and after getting all means after knowing that uh, uh, timing timing and the gunas sattva rajatama that
Mm-hmm.
things
Yeah.
depending on the time I uh, although I am working late, so I'm getting up late, but I try to chant as soon as I mean before 10 o'clock in morning.
Mm.
So
Okay.
so yeah, that makes a difference in my consciousness, and also my concentration level is now good. And uh, earlier I used to anger on people, my family
Mm-hmm.
people, but now that is not no more there. uh, yeah, and one thing actually I am very curious, and I wanted to experience that I heard from most of the lectures that when we go, whoever go in the Vrindavan or Mayapur, that in the early hour, that 16 round chanting happens very easily, or
Mm.
even 64 rounds. So I want to experience that how that happens actually, because
Yeah.
yeah, because I struggle still to go to 16 rounds. But yeah,
Yes.
Ekadashi day I do 16 rounds, but but daily not happens this much round. Yeah, so that's how I can say.
Yes, bro. Thank you very much. Yes, bro. So basically, we should have just faith and continue, bro. So we should have faith in the process. So as we discussed, no, it's just a matter of time. No, it's no, we have to just continue doing it, and sooner or later, no, we will. The Lord actually will get the mercy of the Lord. So we should. Only thing is that we should not give up the faith, right? We should stick to the process, whatever happens, right? Then I think, no, definitely we can see that success will come. Okay. Uh,
Prabhuji, and one more thing, na,
mm,
since I've started this, I'm aware all the time of my thoughts and my karmas. I know what is wrong, what is right, which is the way, the right path to,
mhm,
to go up the ladder. I'm conscious about it all the time. Maybe because the chanting, maybe, but my mind is, not. Wavering on all these material things. My
mm,
whatever karmas I do, I don't do anything which is not according to this what is told to us. So it
mm,
has helped a lot, Prabhuji. It's always, I'm aware of myself all the time,
mhm.
aware of what I'm thinking or doing or saying. So there's so much improvement,
Okay,
just in
Mataji.
these months. Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji, very much. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So basically, we have to consider all of us who are attending the program, right? So we are attending regularly. We are not missing. So that means that no, some we have some faith in the process, right? So and then we have to see other devotees who are practicing. Now right now we are not able to do because no, because of the situation. But it's when we come to the center, no, we can get a lot of inspiration. We can see how other devotees have performed, how they have actually progressed in their devotional life. So that actually those things actually will give us a lot of confidence and no and faith. No, and then no, and then we can also understand that we can also make success in devotional service. Yeah. So yes. So no, that this is actually very important. That is why the association of devotees is very very important. That actually keeps us going, right? We can see practically how devotional other people are performing, how they are having so much faith, how they are so actually it is mentioned in scriptures, when somebody becomes a devotee of the Lord Vishnu, then automatically all the good qualities will manifest in that person. No, he doesn't have to separately endeavor. So we generally, in the material world, generally we nowadays actually, nobody cares much. Like nobody cares what is good and bad. No, it is not. People are not much interested also to become a good person, right? Because everybody so much of corruption and bad, things are there. But generally people actually try to endeavor to develop good qualities. So when we are when we are doing the devotional service, like chanting the holy names and other things, kirtan, reading scripture, automatically these good qualities are manifested. All the good qualities are the demigods. It will be manifested in the pure devotee of the Lord, in the devotee of the Lord. That is what actually scriptures say. So that is actually definitely expected actually. But it's only a matter of time. Okay, Niveda Mataji, would you like to add anything?
Like Prabhuji, like the main thing is we got to know about we are not the body and we are the soul from this Krishna consciousness only. Before, like we are used to do all many worship to the many gods. Many number of gods are there. Every weekly thrice I used to fast and all without knowing why and all. Like just people are following. I used to also follow like fasting and doing prayers, pujas and all without much background knowledge. Only to like most of the time we are serving because doing the service based on what others are doing, not knowing
Yes.
the actual thing. After connecting to Krishna consciousness, what like why Ekadashi, why we have to fast, everything like it is a practical approach they have given. Wow. And for everything there is a correct. They have given the correct meaning, like why should we should why not and all. And
Yes.
one more main thing is like everywhere, whatever we have, I have connected before. I never, then I never come to across like telling during your the goal of the life. This goal of the life is to, yeah, because of the human, we have the ability to remember to serve Lord so that we can remember Him. This
Yes.
is the only this is when only Krishna consciousness we can know about this. I don't think so. Any other in any other following any other guru, we cannot come across this thing. Like our this is our real to pass our exam is we have to remember God, and only by doing devotional service and chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that will purify us so that we can. It will make us to cleanse our heart, and slowly we can get attached more towards the Lord, and that is possible to remember Him. And rather than serving many other things, it is like rather than watering other parts of the plant, watering the root. So serving to the Lord is important. This I came across. This I come to know about only with when I got connected with ISKCON, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you,
and
Mataji. Yeah.
yeah, many like Bhagavatam books and all. After connecting only I got to know, and it is all real truth stories. Many people are not aware, and they are just
Mm.
following. Just so others are following, we are following. I think yeah, this if it reaches everyone, it will be
Yes.
helpful for many to get elevated. Yeah, and everyone will be definitely will be inside. It will be hankering and seeking for the absolute truth, absolute
Yes.
knowledge. And this, if everyone comes across, definitely many will get transformed.
Yes, Mataji. Very nice. Yeah, that's very true. See, I mean, the fundamental knowledge, about the soul, what is the purpose of human life. This knowledge actually was inherently part of our culture. So only thing is that now actually, as an organization, Srila Prabhupada has established ISKCON, right? But actually, it is part of the eternal parampara, right? So basically, there is nothing new that no we are actually manufacturing or anything, right? So why Prabhupada used to say why Prabhupada was successful in the Western countries, right? Because Prabhupada actually he has only one sincere desire to follow his spiritual master, and there is no ultimate ulterior motives. Whatever his guru has told, he was just repeating it, and whatever. So Prabhupada's guru is Bhaktivedanta Saraswati, and Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur used to repeat what actually spiritual master has told. So basically, that way the knowledge is coming through a parampara, right? And no, that is why even if you are just like a puppet, if you repeat this knowledge, no, it will have impact on the person who listens, because actually there is no ultimate ulterior motive, right? Because the Lord actually is empowering the devotee to actually to give the knowledge to others. So only requirement is that we should be sincere in our heart. We should not have any ulterior motives. right? If that sincerity and honesty is there, then actually we are just like a transparent medium, just like a pure conductor of electricity, right? If you have a gold or silver, no, they actually can conduct electricity. Resistance is minimum. Whatever the Lord, the parampara is coming from parampara, it will be transferred through us to the other persons. So that is why Prabhupada used to say, my only success is I am just repeating what my spiritual master is told. So we have to understand that what ISKCON actually, many people have a negative impression. In general public, they think, okay, ISKCON is some organization, it is a cult. No, it actually is meant for like they have some vested interest, or no, or actually they are actually very fanatic people. Like that, so many things are there. So every organization there will be different perceptions by the people. But ISKCON actually, if somebody tries to understand more, ISKCON is just a name Prabhupada has given because it is a legal requirement to establish an organization when he went to the Western country, right? But ISKCON is just a name, new name. It is actually Sanatana Dharma. What we are actually talking is from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam mainly, right? And no, this movement, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself only inaugurated 500 years back, right? Because in the Kali Yuga, this is the process. And all the six Goswamis, basically, we know that the parampara is starting from Brahmaji, right? Of the four paramparas, no, one is Brahma Madhava Gaudiya parampara, which we belong. Then there is Rudra Sampradaya. No, then there actually one come from Lakshmi Devi and one from the four Kumaras, right? Four of Bodhavat Sampradaya. So it's coming from Lord Brahmaji. It's coming disciplic succession. So it is not a new organization. And whatever we are talking is from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is considered as Gita Upanishad. It is essence of all Vedic scriptures, right? Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandana Parthavata Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gita Amritam Makat. So the essence of Vedic, Upanishads and Vedic scriptures is actually in Bhagavad Gita, and based on that, whatever we are talking, and we never talk anything, which actually is whimsical or no, just like I'll say though I think like this, it may be like this. No, Prabhupada always used to be very much against that. No, whatever we talk should have some scriptural reference. So like that way, it is completely bona fide. And the six Goswamis we know, right? No, the Sri Rupa Sanadana Bhatta Raghunatha, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhattadasa Raghunath. So these six Goswamis of Vrindavan, right, who are actually who came from spiritual world. They are manjaris in the spiritual world. They came, when Chaudhary Mahaprabhu came, and they what they did is that they studied all the Vedic scriptures, and then they gave the essence to us. So this is what actually we are following. The regulatory principle, the devotional service, which actually we are following, is actually is condensed essence of devotional service. And there's a book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, right, which actually is the essence of all the devotional service, which is taken from other scriptures like Narada Bhakti, what is that, Panjaratra, right? And other scriptures actually, and then many other scriptures. So they have condensed all the Vedic knowledge and presented actually in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And Prabhupada actually, is based on this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and other Vedic scriptures. He has given a condensed form which is suitable for today's people, today's generation. So there is nothing actually, which actually is being manufactured or concocted. So they are all part of Vedic scriptures. They have been condensed and given in a practical way that everybody can follow. Right? So this part actually we have to always keep in mind whenever we are preaching to others, because many people have misconceptions. So this is we should be very clear about it. I just want to clarify that point. Is that fine?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Anybody has any questions? We'll move to Namamrita if it is not. Okay, let us. Somebody wants to read the Namamrita. We'll chant one round after that. Just a moment. I want to stop the recording.